So what, thought process, what strategies do you have for developing consistent, clean, warm, fat tone?
Great. So let me first of all, I want to see how you play. So you just play a scale, whatever you feel comfortable with. Beautiful. Nice. That's nice. That's a nice mouthpiece. I can tell.
Oh, thank you.
It's got nice. It has vibration. You know, everything seems to be working.
Good. I'm so glad that you said that.
Yeah. So basically, the issue with sound, and especially on the tenor of all these instruments, is the air. You know, you have to get the air moving. You have to really breathe very functionally, and it takes. So when you're thinking about a breath, you have basically three areas where you're filling up your sound. And this is hard to get a hold of when you're doing it by rote. As you practice it, it sort of becomes a habit. But so you have your lower pelvic diaphragmatic breath. This is where most guys tell you to breathe from. I'm sure when you took lessons, they breathe from your diaphragm. But you have a couple of other places that are really where you can get more breath, and more breath means more airspeed. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Okay.
Faster air
Warmer.
technique, warmer.
Okay.
Reed vibrates more fully. All those things come into play just with breathing. So, so lower. But then you have this area here.
Okay.
It's almost like when it's developed. You can do it just holding this.
Should I stand up too?
Yeah, if you want to, you can just hold your. Okay, so you have this. So if you inhale, so that's your first breath.
Are you breathing in when you breathe in? That's what happens.
Yeah, I'm just isolating this breath.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. And then this part here. So if I'm gonna not breathe from here, keep this down. And I'm just going to concentrate on moving your rib cage.
Okay.
So, and that's a very awkward feeling.
It's different, yeah.
It's a very subtle breath. You can't get a whole lot of air that way. But it's just, again, another way of filling up this cavity.
Okay.
So you have this, and then you have your back. So you have. So why don't you put your hand right here?
Yep.
So.
Oh wow!
See how that expands?
Yeah. That's some control right there.
Yeah. So that.
I can't even move that. Wow.
And again, what I'm saying is that's something you can practice. When you're driving in your car.
Okay. Yeah. That's how I learned a double tongue in the car.
Really?
Yeah.
You double tongue on the saxophone?
No, not really. No.
Oh man, I'm thinking, holy cow.
Yeah, no.
That's freaky. I've got to.
That's how I practice in the car.
That's great. That's great. I practice. Well, anyway. So, if you you can do that when you're just feeling that whole thing. So you can basically once you get to that point where you're really you're getting that breath, you're really starting to feel that breath, and it's going to be a little awkward for a little while. You sort of have to trust that awkwardness that you're going to go through. Yeah, you don't want to kill yourself because you don't want to give yourself a hernia or anything like that. But just what I'm going to do here is just kind of take a very easy note like a B flat. play that, just playing that single note.
You just kind of focus on filling up right here.
Yeah. So what you're going to do, you just try to think like, just play a long tone B flat. Okay, great. See how the sound sort of stops about right here.
Yeah.
What we want to do is get the sound to spin around the whole room.
Okay.
The greatest teacher is going to be when you can hear that sound spinning around the room. Then you'll know that's when you're moving the airplane. And the question is now, there is 2 different ways of getting the air to move fast.
Yeah, I kind of use more jaw, just loosened up right there.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a whole that we haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
So I've got a whole thing for that. So basically, so what you're doing is. So you do that. See the sound? Ow, ow. That's not what you want. So you want to get that sort of, just have that sound move around. So it's basically like, here, grab my hand like this. So pull this way.
Pull this way?
Pull that way. And that's the kind of the feeling that you want to get. You're sort of pushing, but you're not pushing.
There's like just kind of a tension all around.
Yeah, basically you're just. If you really fill up all over, if you effectively breathe, that air is going to move fast. It's like a balloon. When you blow up a balloon, you let it out. That air wants to come out. And that's basically how you want to think about it.
Okay.
So just try it again. I want to see if we can get a before and after here, maybe. Now just.
I was trying to use more right here.
Yeah. Now what I want you to, this time. Yeah. Try it again. That. Did you hear more of the low mids in there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yes, that's what you want to listen for. Okay.
Awesome.
So that's your teacher, and
Okay.
you can just sort of do this with just some really easy kinds of exercises. What I like to do is just to do some low, major scales at the bottom of the horn. And you don't want to play soft, but you're just gonna. Going to be doing that. You're just playing very soft.
And what do you think about when you're doing that? Just kind of what are your focus?
Low, throat is open and relaxed.
Okay.
With tenor, you want your throat, your epiglottis to drop.
Do you drop your tongue at all, or is it?
No, we're going to talk about tongue position.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So. The relaxing of the epiglottis. The epiglottis is that part that keeps water from going into your lungs,
Okay.
But that has various degrees of placement, And if you're, of course, nervous and you're tight, that epiglottis gets very tight. You kind of talk like this, So, with performance, that's a problem, if you're nervous, and just trying to get your body to just cooperate with you, is always a challenge, but that's going to help a whole lot, just sort of enabling all this to relax. Really, then you can do that through breathing through your nose or your mouth at the same time.
Okay.
Feel that relax back there.
That's the feeling right there.
Yeah, and now I can hear your voice. Hear your voice drops.
Yeah.
Hear that? Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right,
now okay. Now play again with that.
Do you want me to do that?
That throat play. Yeah. Well, just play a note. I just want you to listen to your sound. Good. Try it again. Big. Here, and just try to see if you can feel that back.
Yeah.
I know that's hard for now. Okay, good. That's a lot of tone there now.
Yeah, it is. That's a big sound.
Yeah. Now that is a way to practice. So you want to be practicing that way for a while, because it's not going to be an intuitive situation for a long time.
Yeah.
And I still have that problem with going back to old habits. Old habits are hard. They're terrible to break. They really are.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time, and your body just does not want to go there.
Yeah. But I do notice that my sound chokes up a lot. It's it kind of. You're right. It just like comes to here and doesn't resonate as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of variations to this if you want to. You have this whole thing of blowing in. Now, the question is, with your spine, you sort of curve back. If you're taking a big breath, it's forcing your spine back like this.
Okay.
This is the last place you want to be.
Sure.
Yeah. So you can almost kind of like tuck your pelvis under like this, so that you have kind of a straight line here.
Okay.
So there, what you have is this line of support coming from here to here. Singers have a whole thing where they compress. That's what that's doing, is that's compressing that air. It's making it go fast.
Okay.
And that's a little gnarlier. I studied that with a saxophonist and also a singer for a while, and yeah, that's cool. But if you're blowing, it's too much to think about. So I would just say, just don't. If you're taking this big breath, don't get into the habit of getting this back.
Just arching, trying to keep it.
And it's going to be terrible for your back too.
Engage the abdomen more. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and just. Hear the sound go around the room?
Yeah.
That's what you want to listen to.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. When you hear that thing going around,
okay.
And what you're going to find from doing this is that because you have a consistent airstream, you have a consistent pitch center, when you're playing with other people, those pitches are going to find each other out in the room a lot easier.
Okay.
That's the big secret with legit players, is their airstream is so focused that, even if they're a little bit out of tune, those pitches will find themselves.
Yeah.
If you're moving around and doing all this, then you have this wobbly, how can you
stay consistent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the first note that you play when you bust out your horn? What's the first note you play?
I like to start down there, So I'm just, I'll start around there,
Okay.
Just start.
Just kind of mid-range.
Yeah. You just, really what's, with playing, with practicing, it's like, what's going to give you the most pleasure at that moment, what's going to, you got to get off. You got to have fun playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
So, and we've all gone through I practice my scale. So when you're practicing, you can say like, okay, what do I want to do that's going to give me joy and pleasure right now?
Okay.
Playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
So I think, well, I don't know, play some time. Just listen to my sound. Turn that into a meditation.
Yeah.
And then so there's a whole lot of different approaches rather than this kind of practice. Metronome 144. 16th notes. That whole thing. That has its purpose.
Yes.
But for us as adults, we really, it's more of just let's enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
So that I've been using a lot in my own practice technique, and that's changed a lot of my whole attitude about it. Because I got to the point where I just really didn't want to forget the saxophone. Yeah.
But I'm sure when you were, in grad school, when you're studying at Eastman, that had to be part of it.
That was part of the deal.
Yeah.
But everybody was doing it, and everybody was, but you did it. But okay, so let's leave that. Let's talk about. We're heading up your passageway here.
Okay.
We're getting to your throat. We talked about your throat being open. Now, tongue position.
Yeah.
dropping your tongue while playing. What happens with most saxophones is if you keep your tongue dropped. Again, you are lessening the amount of airspeed that's happening.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's like a garden hose when you put your finger on the water and it comes out faster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay.
So you want to get your tongue position high.
Oh, you do?
E. So
really?
It's like an E.
Yeah.
Like if you go to E, and you release.
I noticed doing that during overtones, but you think like having that position is the...
I like that position. Now, when you're playing low, there are a couple of different philosophies. When I was staying with Allard in New York, he said, take a major scale, get your tongue position in one place, and play the scale.
Oh, okay.
For 2 octaves. And that's what I did. Now, with other guys I know, they say, well, you can vary it. For your low reg, you can drop.
Yeah, it just changes sometimes.
Yeah, it does change.
Okay.
But the one thing you really want to avoid is if your tongue position is dropped when you're in your upper register.
Yeah. Okay.
That's really the most critical.
Okay.
Then you're going to be biting down to get the pitch up.
I see.
That's the saxophone.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to kind of. I may just try to find that space, that place that I'm really happy with.
And when you're doing that, are you thinking E the whole time?
Yeah, I just got my tongue position up.
Okay.
You want to try that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you
are you on B flat?
Yeah. Why don't you just first of all, just to get a feeling for that, that placement. It's just very simple. E. You want to breathe out, so that'll kind of
E.
Yeah. That just opens up your glottis. So okay. Great.
That's the tongue. That's the. You want me to keep it the whole time?
Yeah, just keep it in one place the whole time. Okay.
I kind of dropped it at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you always do. That's the habit.
Okay.
Try to see this time, play slowly and just try to keep it in one place. Hear that C open up? That's the beginning, see?
Okay.
That's where you're really engaging more of the overtone of the sound.
Interesting. Yeah, I've literally been doing the opposite, kind of down throughout the whole record.
Yes, and the reason, and a lot of guys, big sound. Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Okay.
And so you think, well, isn't that going to make my sound thinner? And it maybe feels a little thinner, but then where you can sort of enable that to open up is then you start to open up your throat.
And also breath.
And breath,
yeah,
yes.
Okay.
You can tell when you're breathing effectively, you really had the mids in the sound. You can hear those mids. And that's where the whole thing has to work together.
Okay.
And that sounds like a very complicated procedure, as I'm breaking it down for you.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of a question of practicing and concentrating on these different elements.
Okay.
And being really patient with yourself, giving yourself time.